Hello everyone and welcome back. In the previous lecture, we have discussed about cell reference in Excel, and now let's take a look at applying basic formulas in Excel. Alright, so let's jump into our Excel application and start working with the formulas. So here we are inside our application. Now before we begin, I want to let you know that in Excel, you don't need to worry about doing the calculations. Whether you are weak in maths or you are strong, you don't need to worry at all because Excel will do the maths for us. It's like a calculator. It can do so much for us. So we are going to start out with the basic building blocks. We are going to understand basic formulas, basic mathematical operations performed inside of an Excel spreadsheet. And then as we continue through the course, we are going to get into more and more advanced topics as far as formulas, functions and calculations are concerned. So let's start out with some basics here. So I want to start out with a calculation that will give us the sum of all these dollar amounts. We will be getting the total for all the months up there. Now here is where the prior lecture comes into play. I'm going to jump into the cell B19 and that's my total for the month of January, right? Now remember, we have talked about a couple of different ways of data that we can input into an Excel spreadsheet. We can add text values, numeric values, we can add dates as well. Now there's a fourth one in order for Excel to recognize that what we're about to do here is a calculation. That means we start our calculations with a specific character. Now, in order to perform a calculation in Excel, we are going to start with an equal sign. And this is true from the most basic, like what we are about to do here, to the most advanced calculations that we can perform inside of Excel. So I'm repeating again, we start doing the calculations in Excel with an equal sign. Alright? So I've got my equal sign here. Now I want to be able to add up these amounts for the month of January. Well, we can do this. So in the month of January, oranges were sold for $120. So I'm going to type in this value here. Now what sort of operation we want to be done here? Well, we want to add this up, right? We want to get a sum. So we are going to say plus. Then we are going to put another value, that is 280 for apples, then again plus, then $70 for watermelons, then again $70 for milk powder, and similarly, we will type in all the values till candies. So here we have typed in all the values for the month of January. Now that we have told Excel that there is our equal sign and Excel is actually smart, it got to know that we are going to do some maths here. This is going to be a calculation and we are just taking the numbers and performing addition on those numbers. Now we will hit the enter key on our keyboard and there is the result. $2,665 for the month of January. Now, what do you think? After typing all the values from the cell B4 to the cell B18, I'm sure you must be thinking, well, that's a lot of work, right? If I double click this cell again, 2665, that opens the formula back up and just imagine, we have typed out each of those numbers. Now what if I made a mistake? What if I miss out any value? Or if I put any value wrong? The result will definitely affect, right? And that's pretty common. We make mistakes while typing, isn't it? Now just consider another case. What happens if these dollar amounts here gets updated? What if I get back here and say coffee was sold for $300? So I get in here and I change this from $250 to $300. So here I have updated this value, but did it update there? No. Let's double click here. Oh, it's still 250. Now we have to change this here as well. So we want 300, right? And now let's double click. Alright, now it is fine. So right now we are changing the values in two different places. So that's a lot of work. Well, you remember the previous discussion about cell references? So we are going to bring in the cell references now. Let's put it back to $250 and let's get rid of this total here. Now, let's get back to the cell B19 and start our formula with an equal sign. Because with the help of this, we are going to inform Excel that we are doing a calculation. Now, we will be using the cell references. In the cell B4, we have our numeric value, right? So here I'm going to type in B4. Then we have to put the plus sign as we are performing the addition here. Then we will write B5 to add the values in the cell plus B6 plus B7, and we are going to continue this up to the cell B18. So here we have added all the cells from the cell B4 to B18. Now ever since 2000 edition of Excel, we have got some nice color coding here. Have a look. It looks really nice, isn't it? Now what we are doing here is just referencing the cells. Now once we are done with this, let's hit the enter key on our keyboard and there is our total, $2,665. It's exactly the same what we got earlier, right? Now one more thing very important. If any of these dollar amount here gets updated, it will automatically make the change in our total. Let's check it out. So as we did earlier, I'm going to make the changes in the amount for coffee. Let's keep it 300 instead of 250. Now just keep an eye down here. I'm going to hit the enter key on my keyboard and here we go. Excel just updated the total value for us. All because I'm using the cell references instead of the literal values. So what do you think now? Isn't it pretty good? We can apply any sort of mathematical operator here. We can do subtraction, we can do multiplication, division, whatever it is. Now I want you to take a moment here. I really want you to complete the rest of them. Get some practice in here, find out the total for the month of February and for the month of March. Then I want you to hop to the E column in the cell E4 and create the formula and do the total for all of these products. And don't forget, you have to start with an equal sign and then we are just going to use the cell references. So in this case, it's going to be B4, which is $120 plus C4, which is $150, again plus, then D4, which is $130. Then hit the enter key and here we have got our total for oranges. So try this out, complete all of them, get a feel for it. In the upcoming lectures, I am going to take it even a step further. I know you are waiting for some other methods here on how to complete this because this is still pretty intense, right? So we are going to see some other ways to build and perform these calculations as well and streamline our efforts. But for now, we are building that foundation. We are getting in there step by step so that we know exactly what's going on inside of Excel, right? So just get this done, get your calculations in there, and that's all for this lecture. I'm going to end it here and see you in the next one. Thank you.